It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive the free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hi there, everybody. This is Paul Finkelstein. I'm down here. Hey, over here, all the way in the little part of the window. I just wanted to give a shout out to Libby. Thank you so much, Libby, and thank you so much, Sherry. That's Sherry White. And then Libby, forgive me if I can't remember your last name. Starts with a G. She's on LinkedIn. She did have those kind words for my wife and I. She said, check out Paul and Sarah for good business insight when regarding Medicare insurance, as well as Sherry White said, let Paul help you. And of course, my wife as well as Sarah with your Medicare and more. I have known Paul for several decades. Every time I speak with him, I walk away feeling inspired. But thanks so much for joining me here. I do want to give one last shout out to Tony Raimondo of TRC Voiceovers. If you need a voiceover that's not AI, you might want to check out Tony Raimondo at trcvoiceovers.com. Here's another voiceover he did. Check this out.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.
Thanks so much, Tony. Welcome to the OMG Small Business and Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Paul Finkelstein, and this is the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. If you want to be interviewed, just text me. Count me in as your next guest at 561-302-0051, and we'll see if we can fit you into my already hectic and busy schedule and getting busier by the minute. But I do want to give some shout outs and accolades to a special woman and a Toastmaster and a mentor at Toastmasters and a distinguished Toastmaster at that, over half of 1% of all Toastmasters in 145 countries ever achieved a distinguished Toastmaster award from Toastmasters, which I've achieved as well. So I encourage you all. I'm inspired to teach everybody how to complete the entire Toastmaster program, which is 2 pathways and a whole series of speech projects and serving your district for 1 year. It's not a lot of commitment, but it is definitely a committed commitment. You do have to put the time in. So if you got the time, I strongly encourage you to do it because you'll get a lot out of it and you'll be putting into it a lot out of it. So you will get a lot out of it. But today's podcast is all about mentorship. I wanted to give a shout out to Beverly Cordner over at Centered Toast Toastmasters. Beverly Cordner at Centered Toast Toastmasters in Boca Raton, Florida, at Johnson Controls, and wherever they have their meetings, sometimes online bi-weekly, online as a hybrid meeting, and then in person as well. So I know 200 Toastmasters clubs that I could recommend near the Orlando area. And I also know about six clubs at least, probably more like 29 clubs, I think, in Nassau, in the Bahamas, all around the Bahamas, not just Nassau. And you could find those clubs. And also 119 different clubs near me in South Palm Beach County. So over 300 Toastmasters clubs around the world. I recommend at least 300 of them that are close to the Southeast region in Florida and the Bahamas. And you can find all of those clubs, including the one that I've been going to as well, in Centered Toast Toastmasters or Johnson Controls in Boca Raton that meets Wednesdays at noon. So if you're available noon Eastern time on Wednesdays, definitely check that one out as well. You could find it by either going to omgtalk.com or paulfinkelstein.com. Either one of those will work to find it as well. When you go to omgtalk.com, you could also download the free ebook, which is also published on Amazon and Kindle. Everything you need to know about Medicare. So if your loved ones are looking for some more information about Medicare, definitely download your book about Medicare there. When you look at the more information on my YouTube at omgtalk.com, you could actually see the link to paulfinkelstein.com, and you'll be able to see 300 Toastmaster clubs that I recommend. Or just text me, count me in for your next guest, Paul, at that number, 561-302-0051, and say, what were those Toastmaster clubs? And I'll send you a link right to your phone via text. What is being mentored all about in Toastmasters? Well, if you're a brand new member to Toastmasters, especially Sensor Toast Toastmasters in Boca Raton that meets noon Eastern time, you will find that there's some buzzwords and some language in Toastmasters if you're brand new that you are not familiar with. Like joining any organization, it might have some buzzwords. It might have some terminology like some people call it an counter. The actual technical term is the counter. And the counter just refers to filler words that people say when they really don't know what they're going to say, and they fill it with words like they're like thinking words. I think that their brain is just talking out loud. And if your brain was like stuck in neutral and drive and it couldn't quite get to the right gear, it's going and so if you don't want to sound like the doctors at the doctor's appointment with the tongue depressor in your mouth saying perhaps maybe you go to Toastmaster, you learn how to minimize those ahs. But you can learn all these techniques from a mentor. And who makes the best mentor at a Toastmasters club? Well, frankly, any member at a Toastmasters club that's currently a member makes a great mentor because they've gone further than the newest guest has gone before, unless that new guest is a dual member and they're a member of multiple clubs and they want to get more speeches in, to get more projects done, get more speaking practice done, to get more comfortable speaking online or on TV, or just one-to-one, or speaking with family or friends, etc. So lots of people could be a mentor, but this one particular individual that's been mentoring me, the Vice President of Education, Beverly Cordner, at the Sensor Toast Toastmasters Club in Boca Raton, Florida, by Johnson Controls. It's near Costco. It's really close to Costco. You could throw a rock from Costco all the way to Johnson Controls. It's a fantastic club. If you ever tried Toastmasters out before, you should try this club out. Say hi to Nam, Former, or Beverly, or if you're going the last Wednesday of the month or the first Wednesday of the month, maybe you'll catch me there as well. I'm always promoting great clubs. I have over 300 clubs that I recommend in Toastmasters in the Southeast Florida area and the Bahamas as well. You can find those clubs at omgtalk.com and click on the link and the more information to paulfinkelstein.com, and you'll see all the clubs that I recommend over there. Beverly's been so exceptional because there's something called pathways in Toastmasters. And when you're a mentor, sometimes you could really give some information to the newest Toastmaster or seasoned Toastmasters that just haven't got nudged over the hump of going to the next level. And there are 5 levels in every pathways. When you finish 2 pathways, did you know that you could become a distinguished Toastmaster with some serving of the district, of course, and doing some exemplary things like starting and co-founding a Toastmasters club? You learn about public relations. You learn about how to be a vice president membership of a club. You learn how to be the president. You learn how to MC a meeting. You learn how to give proper evaluations and why it's really important to give positive evaluations. There are so many things, and even how to navigate the Toastmaster website, which Beverly has been exemplary in, because I just completed again for my 5th or 6th pathway plus the legacy pathways. I probably could earn, if I served my district 2 more times, 3 different distinguished Toastmasters awards just with a couple of more projects. I already finished the speech project, already finished 5 different pathways. So, and that's just a matter of time and consistency and reporting to duty at a Toastmasters club. And when you report to duty at a Toastmasters club, you're helping other Toastmasters perform that test, because what better than understand the definition of team that you get, especially at Toastmasters, which together everyone achieves more. So congratulations, Beverly Cordner. I hereby dub you the Mentor of the Year. Thank you so much for helping me at Sensor Toast Toastmasters. I look forward to seeing you on the last Wednesday of February, where we could meet after the meeting and you could teach me again how to complete my level 1 by entering it into the Toastmaster website and then completing level 1 of, I believe it's persuasive speaking. Thanks so much, Beverly, for your time, your commitment to Toastmasters, and being an amazing mentor. If you need a mentor, how to get through the past, how to understand what makes a great speech, how to use props, how to use vocal variety, and so much more. So, Beverly Cordner, this is a shout out to you. Thanks so much, Beverly. And my last message is just the sponsor of this Small Business and Entrepreneur podcast. And guys, hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll splice and dice this up and put it on social media. And hopefully you'll get yourself to a Toastmaster meeting, because if you're in business, want to be in business, work for a company, everybody could spruce up their public speaking skills. Ciao for now.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive the free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
Hey, like a good movie, and the credits are rolling. What are you still doing here? You're still here? Hey, while you're here, just take a look on the screen. Just make it real big on your TV or laptop, and you can see Sherry and Libby and what they have to say about yourmedicarelady.com. Over at yourmedicarelady.com, Libby says to check out Paul and Sarah. They're good with the business insight with Medicare insurance. And Sherry White of Wellington, Florida says, I talked to the IRS, you don't have to, but let Paul and Sarah help you with with your Medicare. And I know Paul and then Sarah later for several decades, and every time I speak with him, I walk away feeling inspired. I'm sure it's the same thing for Sarah. And Tony, you have the last word, and everybody have a great evening, because I already used up your time at 12 minutes for this evening. Have a fantastic night.
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.